Nikita, Mali, my apologies for I didn't keep my eye on the clock there. I actually, because we're very close to finishing the chapter, I just thought that, you know what, we might we might get everything in, but I took my eye of the of the clock, and therefore we were very abruptly cut off. Thanks for joining again.
No problem, sir.
Um, See, I'm one of those customers that you don't want. I'm not going to throw my toys in the shop or in a restaurant or in a queue in a bank or whatever. I'm just going to change the service provider. I'm very relaxed when it comes to these kind of things. It doesn't mean that I do not have very strong opinions about certain issues, but again, I'm not really a I'm not really a person who enjoys confrontations. I have my own opinion, but I've always been brought up to rather listen to others and to share your opinion, but as a sort of an add-on and not trying to enforce your opinion on others. And you know what? It's just my character. For those who've joined already, my apologies. We were abruptly interrupted here. I thought I was going to be able to finish the chapter, and I didn't keep my eye on the clock. And we are almost finished with the chapter. We're very close to the end of this chapter, and for that reason, I'm just going to continue where we left off. And if there's one or two more to join, then I'll just admit them as we go along. Other situational aspects, specific characteristics that can influence the decision of a consumer is physical surroundings. If you're visiting a doctor for the first time, or a doctor for the first time, and his offices is in a very dodgy area, you'll be reluctant to go back there, regardless of how good the doctor is. Or if you walk into a dentist room and it there's some people who are wearing $500,000 suits and dresses, but they still look untidy, and you find yourself in an environment where it doesn't look, it looks like a hurricane has blown through the place, and you get people like that, and they see nothing wrong with it. The opposite is also true with perfectionists. So the physical environment, the decor, the sounds, the vibe when you walk into a place. Maybe there's some music playing softly in the background to sort of establish a particular atmosphere. Those are all things that very subtly, physical attributes that very subtly impact on you making a decision or feeling at home. And as a result of that, you're already starting to rate the experience, although the purpose for you visiting that particular business have actually not happened yet. Your social surroundings as well, very important, relates to other individuals that's also present when you are making a decision that can influence it, maybe reference groups and stuff. So if you're going to the shop with a friend, and you don't have to ask that person's advice for a particular decision, but sometimes the presence of that other individual make you um, make you more relaxed, and as a result of that, it influences the decision that you take. Maybe you sort of more easy with making a decision in the presence of certain individuals. And then also we can find ourselves that with our temporal situations, it's relates to the time that you have. Sometimes you do not have a lot of time in your hands to make a decision as to which service to use or not. And that obviously influences your the decision making process. And then, yeah, we've touched on it before. Sometimes some days you feel more joyous, and other days you feel more depressed than others. And these sort of emotional roller coasters that we're on, and fluctuating emotions do play a role in us making a certain decision. Some days you just want to get out of here. I don't feel good. and you make a decision based on that. So we always warned against making emotional decisions, but it's also, it happens. We're not all going to make all the right decisions every time in our lives for the rest of our lives. Certain rituals, and what I refer to as how rituals or traditions or customs can impact on our decision making, is around the 14th of February, everybody just goes crazy. Everything in the shops is white and red, and it's chocolates and red roses, and everything is 3 times as expensive as it was on the 13th, although it would be on the 15th, because it's Valentine's Day. But you have Mother's Day and Father's Day and Secretary's Day and Easter and Christmas. These are all in different cultures. There are different rituals and different customs and different traditions, but they impact. And very often, people would never buy some of the items that they buy around these particular events. I will never have hot cross buns any other time in the year. But I sometimes just, when it comes to Easter, you feel, oh, geez, I have to have hot cross buns. There's one thing that I do like, that is obviously very popular among some cultures around Easter, and that is pickled fish. I can eat that any day, whole year. It doesn't have to be Easter. So again, people, our decisions that we take can be influenced by specific events or specific rituals or customs like that, which is very, very common and popular throughout the year. From a manager's point of view, it's obviously very important that you very carefully analyze this process and the 3 different phases that a consumer goes through. In our next chapter, chapter 4, we will delve a bit deeper into understanding the consumer. But it is a tough exercise for marketers to always get it right. There are specific signs, and we've addressed most of them in this chapter, that influence or can influence the decision making of a customer. So it's a question of just being alert for that. Try and obtain as much knowledge about it. Use the opportunity to gather information yourself on why certain decisions are taken in certain situations. Collect your own data to assist you with the challenge of trying to understand the customer, and especially how and when and why they make certain decisions much better. Formally, we have finished with the work that we need to cover, or that the curriculum expects us to cover in chapter 3. Like we did last week, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have a better experience with our sound, is that I've included a case study at the end of chapter 3 on page 91 to 93. I've included that in your slides. You'll see that the case study on Converse, and especially the All-Stars shoe range, the entire case study, as you will find on page 91 to 93, I've copied into the slides, and then also the questions. And the questions is what I want you to prepare. So for your homework for tomorrow, is to go through these questions. I think there are 2 more questions on the next page. Yes, there are 7 questions. I want you to read through this case study. It's actually, if in your textbook, it's probably a page in total. On the slides, it's probably 3 slides that you have to read. Read through the content of that case study, that information that's provided, and then also go through the 7 questions. Prepare possible answers, because tomorrow's session will be discussion session, which we've already identified is the way forward for us to summarize each chapter. So tomorrow is the summary of chapter 3. in the form of the case study and specific discussion questions related to that case study that covers the important components and topics that we have addressed in chapter 3. All good with that? Then again, I'm going to live up to the expectation that was created after week 1, and that is that if we follow, if we all contribute our bit, there will be a possibility of discount in time, and there will be discount in time today. We will finish a couple of minutes early, 10 minutes again. If you don't have any questions, please ask if you want. But if you do not have any questions, I'll leave you with that quote from Steve Jobs, where he says that, you know what, we shouldn't be asking the customers what they want, because by the time they've decided what they want and they've told us what they want, they probably want something else again. That's just simplifying it. I think is to a certain extent is correct, but on the other hand, we cannot, as businesses, operate like this all the time. If you sell the amount of products like Apple does, you can probably make a claim like this, because people will buy Apple. If you're hooked on Apple and you want an Apple, you will ensure that your next device that you purchase will again be from the same brand. And then a quote like that or a statement like that makes sense, because then he knows, regardless of what he produces, you will support and you will buy the brand. Girls, have any of you got any questions?
No, thank you, sir.
No, sir.
Then I say I bid you farewell for today, and we will chat again tomorrow. Third period, you can switch in again to this station, and we will summarize the chapter at the end of the case study on Converse and the All-Star shoe range. Okay. Keep well, stay safe, and make good decisions.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, all of you. Thanks, Minka.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye.